Today you will learn, what is lean? The core idea of lean manufacturing is actually quite simple: relentlessly work on eliminating waste from the manufacturing process. So what is waste? Waste is defined as any activity that does not add value from the customer's perspective. According to research conducted by the Lean Enterprise Research Center, LERC, fully 60% of production activities in a typical manufacturing operation are waste. They add no value at all for the customer. The good news is that just about every company has a tremendous opportunity to improve, using lean manufacturing techniques and other manufacturing best practices. Techniques that enable you to deliver higher quality products at significantly lower costs. Now that is something to get excited about. The essence of lean. The core idea of lean manufacturing is actually quite simple: relentlessly work on eliminating waste from the manufacturing process. So, what is waste? It can take many forms, but the basic idea is to eliminate anything and everything that does not add value from the perspective of your customer. Another way to look at lean manufacturing is as a collection of tips, tools, and techniques, i.e. best practices, that have been proven effective for driving waste out of the manufacturing process. 8 deadly wastes. Let's talk a bit more about waste. Traditional lean identifies 8 key areas of waste, typically referred to as the 8 deadly wastes. These are described below along with suggested countermeasures. Don't worry if the countermeasures are not immediately actionable for you. Right now they can be considered simply as a roadmap for the future. This may be called as downtime. The word downtime can be easily remembered as 8 wastes of lean manufacturing. So let's learn one by one. First is defects. Production that is scrap or requires rework. Countermeasure are Pokayoke, design processes so they are less likely to produce defects. Jidoka, design processes to detect abnormalities so they can be immediately corrected. Root cause analysis, look for the single most frequent defect and determine why it occurs. Standardized work, create work instructions that provide a consistent method of manufacturing the part. Next is overproduction. Making something before it is truly needed. This is a particularly serious form of waste because it leads to excess inventory that is often used to mask other underlying problems and inefficiencies. Countermeasure are takt time, pace production so the rate of manufacturing matches the rate of customer demand. Kanban, use a pull system to control how much is manufactured. SMED, reduce setup time so that smaller batches can be economically manufactured. Next is waiting. Time when work in process is waiting for the next step in production, no value is being added. It can be truly illuminating to look at the time from order to shipment and ask, how much of that time is actually spent on true value-added manufacturing? Countermeasure are continuous flow, design processes so that the flow is continuous and there are minimal, or no, buffers between steps in production. Standardized work, use standardized work instructions to ensure that a consistent method and consistent times are used for each step of production. Next is non-utilization of talent. Unused human potential often results from management policies and management styles that diminish employee contributions. By way of contrast, developing strong coaching skills for managers can be very effective in strengthening employee contributions. Countermeasure are performance metrics, job rotation and cross-training. Next is transport. Unnecessary movement of raw materials, work in process, or finished goods. Countermeasure are value stream mapping, design a linear, sequential flow from raw materials to finished goods. Continuous flow, make sure work in process is not placed into inventory. Theory of constraints, avoid continual changing of job priorities. Next is inventory. Product, raw materials, work in process, or finished goods, quantities that go beyond supporting the immediate need. Countermeasure R. Just in time, bring raw materials in only as they are needed. Continuous flow, reduce or eliminate buffers between steps in production. Countermeasure R. Tack time, pace production so the rate of manufacturing matches the rate of customer demand. Kanban. Use a pull system to control how much is manufactured. SMED. Reduce setup time so that smaller batches can be economically manufactured. Next is motion. Unnecessary movement of people, movement that does not add value. Countermeasure R. 5S. Ensure that work areas are logically organized. 5S. Value stream mapping. Consider alternate arrangements of equipment that reduce motion. Next is extra processing. More processing than is needed to produce what the customer requires. This is often one of the more difficult wastes to detect and eliminate. Countermeasure R. VOC means voice of customer. Compare customer requirements to manufacturing specifications. Kaizen. Look for potential simplifications